Thanks for staying with us on DD India. You're watching Express News, top 100 national and international stories in a go. So let's begin. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today approved the equity infusion of rupees 1,500 crore in Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency Limited. The equity infusion will help in employment generation of approximately 10,200 jobs a year and carbon dioxide equivalent emission reduction of approximately 7.49 million tons CO2 per year. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, today has approved the extension of the tenure of the National Commission for Safai Karamcharis for 3 years beyond 31st March 2022. The total implication of the extension for 3 years would be approximately rupees 43.68 crore. The major beneficiaries would be the Safai Karamcharis and identified manual scavengers in the country since the NCSK for 3 more years beyond 31st March 2022. The number of manual scavengers identified under the MS Act survey as on 31st December 2021 stands at 58,098. Union Cabinet chaired also approved the payment of ex gratia amount of rupees 973.74 crore pertaining to remaining claims submitted by the lending institutions under scheme for grant of ex gratia payment of difference between compound interest and simple interest for 6 months to borrowers in specified loan accounts. Operational guidelines for the scheme are already issued with the approval of the Cabinet. The said amount of rupees 973.74 crore will be disbursed in accordance with the said operational guidelines. BJP Central Election Committee met today in New Delhi. The ruling BJP in UP has completed talks with the Tallies regarding seat sharing arrangement. In UP, the Bharatiya Janata Party is contesting the elections in alliance with Sanjay Nishad-led Nishad Party and Anupriya Patel-led Apna Dal. Both these parties are considered to have considerable influence in many areas of eastern UP. In the sequence, on Tuesday, Sanjay Nishad met the UP in charge of BJP and discussed the distribution of seats. Ahead of the UP Assembly poll, Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav's daughter-in-law Aparna Yadav today joined BJP. Aparna was inducted into the party fold in the presence of UP Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya and State BJP President Swatantra Dev Singh at the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, she said the nation always comes first for her. Aparna Yadav added that she admires Prime Minister Modi's work. After joining BJP, Aparna met UP CM Yogi Adityanath and BJP President JP Nadda in New Delhi and pledged to work for the party. Reacting to the news of Aparna Yadav joining BJP, Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav congratulated Aparna to join BJP politics, saying this will lead to the spread of Samajwadi Party's ideology on the other side also. Former UP Chief Minister Akhilesh further added that he will take permission from the people of Azamgarh to contest assembly polls from there. Aam Aadmi Party National Convener and Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal today announced Amit Palekar as the Chief Ministerial face of the Aam Aadmi Party Goa for upcoming Goa Assembly Elections 2022. So far, more than 159 crore COVID vaccines have been administered under the nationwide vaccination campaign. According to the Ministry of Health, the centre has approved more than 158.16 crore COVID vaccines to the states and union territories so far, out of which more than 13.25 crore vaccines are still available with the states and union territories. India began vaccination for children aged 15 years and above on 3rd of January 2022. It has already reached a major milestone. Over 50% of the youngsters between 15 to 18 years of age group have received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Amid surge in COVID-19 cases in Andhra Pradesh, the streets of the state were seen deserted as a night curfew came into force from Tuesday night. The state government has announced a night curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The new measures that came into force from January 18th will remain in effect till 31st of January. Kerala's Health Minister Veena George visited COVID-19 vaccination centre for children between the age group of 15 and 17 years at Vocational Higher Secondary School in Manakar to review the vaccination drive. Prime Minister Modi greeted the National Disaster Response Force on their Raising Day. Prime Minister tweeted greetings to the hardworking NDRF HQ team on their Raising Day. They are at the forefront of many rescue and relief measures, often in very challenging circumstances. NDRF's courage and professionalism are extremely motivating. Best wishes to them for their future endeavours. Ahead of the Republic Day, the Daredevil Bikers team of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police has been practicing hard at the Rajpath in New Delhi. The Daredevil Bikers will be showcasing their skills in the Republic Day parade for the first time. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Hari Kumar, and the Indian Navy have extended heartfelt condolences to the families of the 3 Navy personnel who succumbed to injuries caused after an unfortunate explosion in an internal compartment on board INS Ranveer at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai on Tuesday. In line with the government's vision to boost defence exports to friendly foreign countries, HAL signed a contract with Government of Mauritius for export of the Advanced Light Helicopter for Mauritius Police Force. The Government of Mauritius already operates HAL-built ALH and DO-228 aircraft. With this contract, HAL and GOM have further strengthened the long-standing business relations spanning over 3 decades. ALH Mk3 is a multi-role, multi-mission versatile helicopter in 5.5-ton category. More than 335 ALHs have been produced till date, logging around 340,000 cumulative flying hours. Its various utility roles, including numerous life-saving missions during natural calamities in India and abroad. HAL also ensures technical assistance and product support to the customer to ensure healthy serviceability of the helicopter. In other news, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a telephonic conversation with the Foreign Minister of UAE, Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The two leaders discussed the terror attack on UAE that killed 2 Indian nationals. India Post Payments Banks crossed the 5 crore customer mark yesterday in just 3 years of commencement of its operations to become one of the fastest growing digital payments bank in the country. The bank said it has opened up these 5 crore accounts in digital and paperless mode through its 1,36,000 post offices. Of these, 58% were women account holders. As cold wave sweeps across parts of Himachal Pradesh, the hill town Dharamshala has been covered under the thick blanket of snow. The minimum temperatures has dipped marginally and thick fog has covered major towns in lower hills. The icy winds has lashed the Himalayan region. To enjoy the chilled weather, tourists in McLeodganj were seen buying woolen clothes to keep themselves warm. COVID-19 instances are piling up all around the world, with the total number exceeding 33 crore 46 lakh. US continues to be the most severely affected with over 6 crore 83 lakh cases, highest number in the world. The death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 8 lakh 76,000 in the country. Germany registered record single-day hike of COVID-19 cases. It has further tightened restrictions to stem the surge. The country has permitted the access to restaurants to people who have received their booster jabs or who are tested on top of being fully vaccinated or recovered. Britain reported the highest number of COVID-19 deaths in almost a year on Tuesday as Prime Minister Boris Johnson's government considered relaxing measures introduced to reduce the spread of Omicron variant. The World Health Organization's chief scientist Soumya Swaminathan said that there is no evidence at present to indicate any need for booster doses of COVID-19 vaccine for healthy children and adolescents. Only 7% of the African population double vaccinated against COVID-19. WHO has warned that the problem is that we are leaving huge swaths of world behind, which leaves more scope for the virus to mutate. Australia threw out an invitation to backpackers on Wednesday, seeking reinforcements for workforce crippled by an Omicron COVID-19 outbreak. Notably, Australian businesses are grappling with a growing toll of workers out sick or ordered to isolate as close contacts. COVID transmission from pets to humans in homes doesn't happen. A Hong Kong-based animal health expert today said that millions of people around the world have pets and there have been no cases proven of pets transmitting infection to other humans. Providing a certain sense of relief to the European Union's drug regulator said on Tuesday that COVID-19 vaccines made using mRNA technology do not cause pregnancy complications for expectant mothers and their babies. The U.S. Centers for Disaster Control and Prevention on Friday revised its guidance or guidelines for Americans on wearing masks. CDC has recommended on wearing the most protective mask to protect against COVID-19 while stopping short of advocating nationwide usage of N95 respirators. Paraguay's President Mario Abdo has tested positive for COVID-19 and has mild symptoms from the virus, according to a tweet by country's health ministry on Tuesday. South American region is witnessing a spike in cases driven by Omicron variant. British newspapers rounded on British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Wednesday as he faces a revolt by his own lawmakers who are angry over a series of lockdown parties in Downing Street. Hong Kong health workers on Wednesday in personal protective suits went into pet shops to carry out a mass cull of hamsters over COVID-19 fears after tracing a coronavirus outbreak to a worker in the Little Boss pet shop where 11 hamsters tested positive for COVID-19. Japan on Wednesday widened COVID-19 curbs to the capital Tokyo and a dozen regions covering half the population as the Omicron variant of the coronavirus drove record new infections. France registered 4,64,769 new COVID-19 infections over the previous 24 hours, official data showed on Tuesday, the highest ever recorded tally since the start of the pandemic. The high numbers are explained by the Omicron variant's rapid spread. China reported the lowest daily count of local confirmed COVID-19 infections in 2 weeks on Wednesday after cities sealed up areas of virus risk, quarantined infections and conducted mass testing, state television reported. Manila's local government opened up its zoo on Wednesday as a vaccination center for minors and the elderly as means of encouraging them to get vaccinated while being entertained by animals. 1,000 COVID-19 injections will be allocated per day for minors aged 12 to 17 years old and senior citizens, according to authorities. Paraguay's President Mario Abdo has tested positive for COVID-19 and has mild symptoms from the virus, the country's health ministry said in a tweet, as the South American region sees a spike in cases driven by the Omicron variant. U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Friday revised its guidance for Americans on wearing masks to protect against COVID-19, recommending donning the most protective mask you can while stopping short of advocating nationwide usage of N95 respirators. COVID-19 vaccines made using mRNA technology do not cause pregnancy complications for expectant mothers and their babies, the EU's drug regulator said on Tuesday, following a detailed review of the several studies. Authorities say Poland is facing its most serious wave of COVID-19 infections yet, but many skis descending on the southern resort of Zakopane as the winter holiday season kicks. This was not a worry. Look at the non-COVID stories. Fashion icon Andre Leon Talley died at the age of 73. A statement released on his official Instagram read, "It is with great sadness we announce the passing of Andre Leon Talley on January 18, 2022 in New York." Unquote. Mr. Talley was a larger-than-life long-time creative director at Vogue during its rise to dominance as the world's fashion bible. On a visit to Ukraine, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that the U.S. is committed to Ukraine amid tensions with Russia. He met Ukrainian President Zelensky in Kyiv. While the Ukrainian president thanked the U.S. for support and military assistance provided to Ukraine, Blinken asserted U.S. prefers a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. He also warned that renewal of aggression by Russia will see serious consequences. Britain military aid arrived in Ukraine on Tuesday, including anti-tank weapons to help Kyiv defend itself from a potential invasion during a standoff with Russia, which has massed troops near the Ukrainian border. Western countries say they fear Russia is preparing a pretext for a new assault on Ukraine, which it invaded in 2014. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says on Wednesday that Russian gas sales to Moldova were a commercial matter between Russian energy giant Gazprom and the former Soviet Republic, but gas was being delivered and needed to be paid for. A Belgian court sentenced a Vietnamese man to 15 years of jail on Wednesday after ruling he was a ringleader in the trafficking of 39 migrants found dead in a lorry. 45-year-old Vo Van Hong was accused of leading a cross-channel people trafficking operation based in Belgium linked to a truck that was found full of corpses on a British industrial estate in October 2019. 6 residents died in a fire at a Spanish retirement home in suburb of Valencia early on Wednesday. The blaze started late on Tuesday night on January 18 and took around 2 hours to bring under control, the fire department said on Twitter. Syrian doctor suspected of crimes against humanity, including torturing prisoners at military hospitals in Syria, attended the first day of his trial in Germany on Wednesday in the second such case over alleged state-backed torture in Syria's conflict. A prominent Indonesian militant believed to be linked to the 2002 Bali bombings, which killed 202 people on the resort island, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. As per statement by his lawyer on Wednesday, Aris Sumarsono, better known as Zulkarnain, was a former military commander in Jemaah Islamiyah, a Southeast Asian jihadist network with ties to Al-Qaeda. British consumer price inflation rose more than expected to 5.4% in December, its highest in almost 30 years, as per its official data released on Wednesday, putting pressure on the Bank of England to raise interest rates again next month. New York State Attorney General Letitia James has taken legal action to compel former U.S. President Donald Trump and his adult children Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump to appear for sworn testimony as part of her office's civil investigation into the Trump's organization's financial dealings. Athletes traveling to next month's Beijing Olympics were warned on Tuesday about speaking up on human rights issues while in China for their own safety by speakers at a seminar hosted by Human Rights Watch. New Zealand sent a Navy ship carrying personnel, equipment and supplies to disaster-hit Tonga on Tuesday. The ship HMNZ Wellington had departed from Devonport Naval Base in Auckland with naval divers, hydrographers and a helicopter on board to assist with delivering supplies. Israel police on Wednesday released a video showing its forces evacuating a Palestinian family from its Sheikh Jarrah home before demolishing the dwelling in the Flashpoint East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. Hundreds of people braved the ice-cold waters of Moscow's Ostankino Pond on Tuesday to mark the feast of Russian Orthodox Epiphany. French President Emmanuel Macron urged Europe to invest in its collective security at the European Parliament on Wednesday. Moroccan said Europeans needed to build their own collective security pact and rearm themselves after Russia prompted fears of a Ukraine invasion with a significant troop build-up on the border. France currently holds the EU's rotating 6-month presidency. A blizzard warning was triggered for parts of North Dakota on Tuesday as strong winds gusts blew through the northeastern U.S. state. The video posted on social media by North Dakota Highway Patrol showed winds blowing snow on a road in Renville County near the U.S. border with Canada. Areas of North Dakota were under a no-travel advisory for reduced visibility and poor diving conditions. Oil prices rose for a fourth day to a 7-year high on Wednesday as worries continued about supply disruptions and an already tight supply outlook. Security concerns pushed prices following an attack on the United Arab Emirates by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi group on Monday. Drone and missile strikes had set off explosions in a fuel truck. A lawmaker quit Boris Johnson's Conservative Party on Wednesday to join the opposition, describing the British Prime Minister's behaviour over lockdown parties as disgraceful and fueling a rebellion against his premiership. In a rare incident, a cow in northeastern Gomati district gave birth to a two-headed calf. The female calf is born with a medical condition called polycephaly and has 2 heads, 2 ears and 4 eyes. And now moving on, the heavy rains that soaked California late last year were welcomed by farmers, urban planners and indigent co-host Solomon. California received more precipitation from October to December than in the previous 12 months. Hundreds of people braved the ice-cold waters of Moscow's Ostankino Pond on Tuesday to mark the feast of Russian Orthodox Epiphany. Every year of this day, followers of the Russian Orthodox Church commemorate the baptism of Jesus Christ in the River Jordan by swimming in Russia's lakes and rivers. Scores of people gathered on Tuesday for a vigil in Times Square to honor Michelle Go, who was pushed to her death on subway tracks on Saturday, and to denounce anti-Asian violence. A joyful dog named Millie was seen having fun in backyard blanketed in snow as weather conditions eased after a day of heavy snowstorms in Toronto in Canada. The world's oldest man, Centumino Dalila Fonte Garcia from Leon in Spain, has died at the age of 112 and 340 days. Garcia broke the Guinness World Record for the longest person living back in September 2021. India's tennis ace Sania Mirza has announced that 2022 will be her final season on the WTA Tour. Sania, age 35, is a former world number 1 in doubles and had a career best rankings of 27 in singles. Sania Mirza made her senior debut in 2003 and holds the record for the highest ranked women's singles player from India. On day 3 of the ongoing Australian Open, one of the most prestigious tournaments of international tennis, Rafael Nadal is through to the third round without dropping a set following 6-2, 6-3, 6-4 win over German qualifier Yannick Hanfmann. Defending champion Naomi Osaka overcame a second set blip to beat American Madison Brengle 6-0, 6-4 and reached the third round of the Australian Open, staying on course for a potential fourth round clash with world number 1 Ash Barty. Ashley Barty continued her dynamic start with another dominant victory at Melbourne Park on Wednesday. World number 1 registered convincing 6-1, 6-1 win over Lucia Bronzetti in 52 minutes to enter into the third round of the Australian Open. Number 8 seeded Paula Badosa cruised into the third round with a 6-0, 6-3 win over Martina Trevasan on Rod Laver Arena. France's Harmony Tan ends her fight for the title win at the ongoing Australian Open as she had to quit because of an inquiry on Margaret Court Arena. Number 24 seed Azarenka, who won the Australian Open twice consecutively in 2012 and 2013, stormed past Jill Teichmann 6-1, 6-2. Former world number 1 Azarenka is into the third round in Melbourne for the 11th time. On to chess, Indian Grandmaster Vidit Santosh Gujarati settled for a draw against Russia's Andriy Sispenko in the fourth round to stay in the lead with 3 points in the prestigious Tata Steel Masters chess tournament. Ghana suffered a group stage exit at the African Cup of Nations after the 4-time champions were beaten by debutants Comoros. On the back of EFL Cup exit at the hands of Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur will look into the bounce back upon their return to Premier League action on Wednesday as they travel to the King Power Stadium to take on Leicester City. Chelsea's winless run in the Premier League stretched to 4 matches on Tuesday as a 1-1 draw away to Brighton saw their cylinder titles hopes suffer yet more damage. Winger Hakim Ziyech's opportunist strike gave Thomas Tuchel's side the lead against the run of the play in the 28th minute, but Brighton were rewarded for their endeavour when defender Adam Webster thundered a header past Chelsea goalkeeper. In Serie A, Juventus made it through to the quarter-finals of the Italian Cup on Tuesday with a 4-1 win over Sampdoria. Tottenham Hotspur manager Antonio Conte called the Premier League's decision to postpone last weekend's North London derby with Arsenal strange. And the Grammy Awards, which had been postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, have been rescheduled for April 3rd in Las Vegas. The awards honouring top performances in music had been set to take place on January 31st in LA earlier. Comedian Trevor Noah will host the ceremony, which will be televised and streamed live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Nominations for the awards were announced in November. Hollywood actor Oscar Isaac dons a grey cape and an English accent for his role of Moon Knight, the latest superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel fans were given a first look at the series on Monday when the trailer aired during the NFL wildcard halftime. The trailer shows Grant eventually becoming Moon Knight, a superhero gifted with abilities by the Egyptian god. The series will also feature Ethan Hawke and French actor Gaspard Ulliel. Moon Knight will premiere on Disney Plus on March 30th. British actor Daniel Radcliffe will play the role of Grammy-winning song parody specialist Weird Al Yankovic in a new biographical film. The movie will retrace Yanukovic's life from the early stages of his career and touch on the darkest moments of his private life. Radcliffe is best known for playing the title character in the Harry Potter film series for a decade from 2001 until the release of the 8th and final film in 2011. The much loved and hugely successful Telugu film Rangasthalam, starring Ramcharan and Samantha, directed by Sukumar, is supposed to release next in Feb 2022. And with that, it's time to close this edition of Express News. We will be back tomorrow with more. And meanwhile, stay tuned to DD India for the latest. Thanks for tuning in. Namaskar.